Welcome back. Pardon the hair and the attire as I am coaching today. I'm stepping in for Mike. I decided I was going to give him the day off due to mental health issues. Not saying he's actually going through a mental health crisis, but recently in his video debunking the whole 100 men versus the gorilla, he came under heavy scrutiny, coming from just one individual in the comments, where that person decided that they were going to step out of bounds and call this person everything outside of their name and everything but the Son of God and a walking piece of shit. They belittled his intelligence. They called him all sorts of names. It was inappropriate and completely out of pocket. It was something that we can't stand for on this channel, and we must step in and step up for him today. Well, today I'm actually going to make the counter argument, and I will talk about how the 100 men will actually be able to beat the gorilla. But in this scenario, we are going to talk about how the 100 men are going to survive with 0 casualties. Now, students, buckle up, because this is going to be a very graphic video. It's going to be very violent. Viewer discretion advised, as we're going to discuss how we're going to kill the absolute shit out of this ape. Now, the main reason Mike decided he was going to go with the gorilla in the original simulation was because we were going under the assumption at this university that we were just gathering 100 humans. You can't get 5 humans to run a food truck efficiently, nonetheless get 100 men to go out there and fight a gorilla. I don't believe they would just naturally be able to band together and put together reasonable tactics that are actually going to be able to come up with a good enough plan to survive. But obviously in today's scenario, we are gathering 100 individuals who can think, 100 individuals who are going to work together, band together, and stick together as we're going to go with this cockamamie, crazy ass plan. Now, the first part of this plan is going to be a little bit silly, and please bear with me. What I'm going to ask for all the men to do at the beginning of this is I'm going to ask for everyone to declothe. Obviously, I am man 1. I am the one person who's standing back being the commander. I will not be engaging in battle unless I am the last man standing. I decided I am alpha and I will stand in charge. So thus, men will strip, and they will take their clothes and they will tie them together for a use later on that I'm going to explain. The next part of this plan is going to be obviously taking on the limbs. This monkey is obviously walking around with very strong instruments walking around. He's going to have obviously his 2 legs, his 2 arms, and his head. We're going to send 10 individuals at each limb. So that's going to give us 50 men deployed in all of those areas. So we will have 50 men dedicated to taking on those limbs. As we're going to do that, we're going to try our best to hold him in place. But the men who are taking the eyes, they're going to gouge those eyes out. They're going to put their hands inside those sockets and they're going to rip it out of that monkey, and it's going to make him scream. Now, we obviously want to be careful when we're doing this and make sure nobody gets their hands or their arms anywhere near the mouth, because any chomp will be that limb. So with that being said, we're going to deploy another 30 men to go out there and just punch the shit out of this gorilla. Not going to do a whole lot of damage, but with this monkey squirming around, we're hoping we're going to exhaust him quite a bit. Holding all his limbs together is going to be very hard for him to smash any humans. Maybe take some ricochet damage, may take him a little bit of initial pounding, some heavy bruising, but not going to die. So that leaves us with 20 men left, and that leaves us with 1 more vulnerable spot. With this monkey squirming around in pain, we already have him on the edge. So now that his eyeballs are out of his head and he's over here just losing his mind, we're going to deploy the last 20 men right towards his balls. 10 of those men are going to do the unthinkable, and we're going to rip that sack right off of that ape. Ding-a-ling, pews, ball sack, and all. We're going to go ahead and we're going to rip that whole thing off in one fell swoop. One nice hostile rip. Now, I'm sorry, I told you this was going to be very dark and it's going to be very disturbing. And I apologize, and I am an animal activist. Here at Random University, we don't stand for the harming of any animals. But clearly this monkey is going to be on edge. He's going to be getting the shit beat out of him. He can no longer see. He has lost his mind. He's delusional. He's lost his mind like Tyrese on an episode of The Walking Dead when he was tapping out. That's where this monkey's going to be. Unfortunately, he's going to be bleeding out in a very unfortunate area, losing wind, losing steam. And this is when we deploy some of those men off of those limbs to go back and get those clothes. Those clothes I was talking about earlier that were tied together. It was 99 individuals' clothes tied together as one giant rope, and we are going to do the worst thing you can possibly think of, and that is choke the shit out of that monkey.
I I beg your pardon?
And I apologize for the graphicness of this video. Once again, we are animal activists here at Random University. We would never do this to an actual gorilla. All of this is hypothetical. So please just know that we are not insane here at this university. But we will seal victory in that way, in that fashion. Everyone lives. Brought to you by Random University.